皆さん、こんにちは。カルノーがお届けするジンバポッドキャスト、今日も始まりました。この番組では世界で加速する AI の最新トレンドや企業を支える自動化ツール、ジンバフローに関する最新情報を分かりやすく、そしてちょっとワクワクする形でお届けします。ビジネスの最前線で AI を活用したい方から、開発現場で楽しい技術を試しているエンジニアさん、そしてこれから AI を学びたいという学生さんの皆さんまで、ぜひ我々と一緒に楽しんでいただけると幸いです。はい。
ていく。
いいじゃん、もうこれで。行かせてよ、ちょっと先行かせてよ。というわけで皆さん、こんにちは。カルノーがお届けするジンバポッドキャスト、今日も始まりました。この番組では世界で加速する AI の最新トレンドや企業を支える自動化ツール、ジンバフローに関する最新情報を分かりやすく、そしてちょっとワクワクする形でお届けします。ビジネスの最前線で AI を活用したいから、硬いから、開発現場で新しい技術を試しているエンジニア、そしてこれから AI を学びたい学生の方まで、ぜひ我々と一緒に楽しんでいただけると幸いです。はい。第2回目、カミカミでしたが、スタートいたしました。よろしくお願いします。
これ、リテイクなしね。
リテイク、
リテイクなしね。オッケーオッケー。
リテイクなし
リテイクなしという
ですね。
形で、はい、わかりました。
本日のテーマなんですけど、前回ね、なんで僕らこういうツール作ったのって話をしていたのに対して、今回はこれどうやって作ってきたのって話をしようかなと思います。実は Jinba Flow っていうのは、これまで2回バージョンが変わっています。で、どういう繊維があったのか、どういう経緯を得たのかって話が今回できればなと思っています。で、その時の苦労話なんだからね、交えながら、今のツールに対する思いだったりとか、どこがいい風になったのかってことが、この回で話し合えればなと思っています。そして本日はゲストでブライアンが来ています。
Brian. I've been a engineer at Jinba for about 2 years now. Started off with a little bit of remote work and eventually moved to Tokyo to work with this company. I had a background in robotics at Amazon before joining, did a 4 year university program in University of California, Irvine, and I do a lot of our back end stuff, but I also do a little bit of our infrastructure, front end, and just a little bit of a
ありがとうござい
generalist.
ます。突然英語が始まってびっくりしたかと思うんですけど、ブライアンは今字幕がついてるかな話してた通り、アメリカ人で基本的には僕らは英語で話しているので。So, let's talk about our history of Jinba. The first topic we're going to talk about is V1, very first version we created. And actually only one person is know about this topic, which is Shoya. All right, Shoya, could you quickly introduce what was it V1 looks like? まあ、日
Look
本
like.
語でやってもいいかもしれませんね。
じゃあ、日本語でいきますか。はい。でですね、このジンバシリーズはですね、はや V3、今がジンバフローの、ジンバフローとジンバッパ V3 なんですけど、ジンバフローのっていうものがありまして、それが2023年の12月ぐらいから、2022年の12月ぐらいに作り始めました。で、当時、プロンプトフローっていう名前でですね、今、プロンプトフローって調べると、マイクロソフトが出しているビルダーみたいなのが出てくるんですけど、今、拓也が出してくれてるのが、プロンプトフローですね。僕が初めて調達した時に、このプロンプトフローっていうアイディアで出して調達したんですが、基本コンセプトは結構似ていて、チャット形式で、ザピアとか N みたいな、これ見るとちょっと、かなりインスパイアな UI だと思うんですけど、N とかザピアを自然言語で指示しながら作っていくっていうようなツールを作ってたって感じですね。
見た目可愛いよね。
これは僕が初めて Figma を使って作ったっていう形です
これ
ね。
実際どこまで作り上げて、どういうとこまで行ったツールでしたっけ？
これは実際は、プロトタイプ段階で終わりました。
ね、スタートアップの初期あるあるかもしれない。
そもそもどうなったんだっけな。まずその誰に向けて作ったかみたいな話とかで言うと、もともとそのザピアとか N8N とか自動化ツールが結構好きで、こういうプロダクト作れたら面白いなと思っていて、で、LLM が出てきた時に、この LLM を使って、その知識のギャップを埋められるんじゃないかなと思って、そこにちょっと着想を得て、自然言語で指示できる版のザピアみたいなものを作り始めましたと。
今もね、正直今も難しいとか、ザピアもあるとすごく思ったね。ザピアとか、ディファイも一緒かもしれないけど、設定するときって結構いっぱいパラメータつけなきゃいけないとか、やっぱそこら
そう
辺難し
そうそう。
さをね、緩和しようと。なんで
そう。
挫折したのかっていう、その話が知りたい。
これ後から振り返るとすごく明確で、当時8500万円を調達して、正直言ってお金の使い方がよくわからなかった。起業も初めて だったし、調達も初めてだったし、何をしたかっていうと、業務委託でプロダクトを作り始めました。で、これが後から振り返ると、失敗というか、失敗ですね。で、僕の周りの結構優秀なエンジニア、今も手伝ってくれてる人たちいるんですけど、を誘ってプロダクトを設計して、で、バックエンド、フロントエンドとかをそれぞれ2、3人ぐらいで割り当てて回したんですが、結論、このプロダクトを業務委託だけで最初作るのはすごい難しい。
うん、そうだよね。
例えば、今でいう例えばそのチャットボットを作りますと、ラグみたいなチャットボットを作りますと、そういう類のプロダクトだったら、多分2、3人ぐらいの業務委託と自分で回したかもしれないんだけど、結構このプロダクトは、拓也も我々も作っていて、重々わかると思うんですが、もうかなりUI、UX がすごく難しいというか、常日頃使いづらくないかみたいな、なんでここ直ってないのみたいな、そういうかなりUI を設計しなきゃいけないっていうのと、インテグレーションが多いっていうのと、実際にはその実行制御とか、データどうやって扱うのみたいなところとか、比較的その最初に作るプロダクトとしてはかなりハードルが高かったっていうのが難しかったポイントかなと思ってます。
そうですね。難しいだよね。実際結構複雑なプロダクトだからですよねっていうのはありますよね。
うんうん。
で、だからその折に触れて結局、要は業務委託っていうか、結局100%の時間を使ってぐっとちゃんと考え切ってコンセプトを一緒に作ってやりきるっていう人が中心にいないとやっぱ難しいよねって話だったよね、きっと。
うんうん。
で、そこでブライアン、これは僕らがもう少し成功した起業家にならないとあんまり教えとして言うのは恥ずかしい。
確かに。
これで成功できるよって言ってもお前ら成功してないじゃん。その感覚があって非常に恥ずかしいけど、いずれにしてもね、あれはな、なんつうの、失敗を得て、ブライアンをチームに入れることができたって感じだよね。
うんうん。
で、これ、クローズというか、ちょっと尻すぼみになって、動画がある。流してみよう。
懐かしい。
かっこいいじゃ
しかしこの頃からあんまりコンセプトは変わってないっていうね。
ん。コンセプトは変わってない。
当時スコーディングとかも未だに、まだなく、
そうやね。
チャット G が画像も読み込めないみたいな
うんうん
状態
うん。
でしたね。
で、そこから V2 になっていくよって感じだね。
うん。
OK、じゃあ、こっからは英語にしますか。
はい。
じゃあ、ここから英語にしますかって言い出すと難しいですけど。So, after we close this point, we actually moved to the Jinba V2, and from that point, we call that product as Jinba, right?
Yes, yes. We call it Jinba Flow instead of Prompt Flow.
Yeah, right. And when was the Brian? You joined the company. Was there the prom flow was still on service, or we after we closed the prom flow you joined the company?
I was involved in like the initial, literally like from scratch creation of V2. So I guess I was joining somewhere in the middle of that process of like the transition. I was part of creating the transition. So
Yeah, and for whom really don't know what is the Jinba V2 looks like, this is and you can see this is actually looks cool, right? Oh, sorry.
I guess you need to hard refresh.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought. Yeah, and wow, you can set the profile pic on GPT too. That's really cool.
Yeah. And you can
Okay.
set pictures and thumbnails
Yeah,
for
right.
flows, which we don't have right now, but we're gonna release it soon.
Yeah. All right. So what was the concept of V2 and what did you make? That's the first question we have to answer.
right. I think V2 was, I guess at the very fundamental core, it's pretty similar to the current V3, workflow automation, graph view, drag and drop nodes, connect, run this after that. But I think the key thing with V2 was the audience we were aiming for initially was data scientists. So we had a big focus on stuff like pandas, data processing,
Yeah.
working with tables, CSV. And I think that influenced a lot of the design decisions, a lot of, let's even just say like the modules we wanted to add, the features we wanted to add. It was for a good amount of time geared towards that. And then I think it slowly shifted away as we continued to explore other possible markets.
Yeah. As you can see, we are really we are really focusing on Python module probably. I mean, this bar chart module is really cool. Like you can actually view, like show the map.
Yeah, this example is very cool, to be honest. So I guess the reason why we started to have this Python module was, I guess at that point, like coding like agent or not agent, maybe like coding like models are like, getting better and better. And they kind of reach to the point that, that you can actually use it in the production environment. So previously on like V1, we didn't have that kind of stuff. Oh yes, yeah, you can, yeah, tweak it around. Yep.
Wow, this is cool.
And yeah, and the reason why we have this Python module was we were kind of like always hitting the no code limit, which is like when you have like a set of like modules, like you always need to have to like convert input and outputs, right? For example, like if you want to send something on Gmail, you need to convert the text into like HTML probably, right? And it's always been like super hard like to figure that out, like using like existing no code tools or like such as like Zapier or like NAN. And we wanted to like have Python module as a glue, like, between like those modules.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So the basic concept was really using Python core, like, right?
Yeah, and also and then prompt like each module. I'm not each module, but like prompt Python module, and then like connect Python module. And if you have like existing like integrations like such as Gmail or like Google Spreadsheet, we can utilize that as like a preset module.
Yeah.
But I guess the idea we were trying to like implement, but we haven't like made it through but I guess like it was like, even with Gmail and like Google's like Sheet module, like we eventually wanted to like have like a Python preset module for that so we can like tweak it.
I'm just asking, get my schedule on Saturday.
You haven't added the Google Calendar actual.
Credentials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Connect
Oh,
that.
yeah. This is how you do it.
You
Oh,
need to
see, that's it?
propagate. Yeah, you need to set it and you need to, yeah, that's okay. Yeah. And then you
And
need to
I have to run
propagate.
first here, right?
Yes, exactly.
This is how it works.
Wait, I guess it's gonna work.
All right. Schedule for Saturday. I have no events. All right. Thanks.
Okay, I
This
guess
is
so.
cool, Joe. This is really cool.
Yeah.
That style. All right. And what the toughest things for creating this? I mean, as I said, this is really cool, and we got some fun of this V2 versions for sure. But probably there are so many hard things you have to overcome for making these products. What was the top three things you come up?
Right. I think number one thing that kind of drifted from like our initial goal as technology moved, honestly, was LLM performance. Like as you can see here in this little demo, right, we were really thinking smaller scale at first. Like, okay, you think of the flow yourself, the logic yourself, if else blocks or whatever, and then use AI to have the gluing code. Right. I think as we realized AI was becoming a lot more capable than just thinking of one block, like it could probably start creating flows for you. We tried to start doing that. And I think just with the architecture we initially went with, it was pretty difficult to get AI to generate these graphs for us, like from scratch. Compared to V3, it was like totally different process and level of difficulty, both for the user and for us to implement.
Yeah.
Another difficult thing was just with a much smaller team, I think. Different time zones, a lot of people were working part-time as contractors, which was actually sort of okay for a little bit when I was in America, admittedly, just because my work schedule was offset from regular Japanese hours. But I think that also grew to become quite difficult to have to wait, getting blocked by someone that's not working until the weekend, getting blocked by someone that's not getting on until 9 p.m. Just, small team things. And I think we slowly transitioned to more full-time team, which helped, but there was a pretty big amount of time where that was an issue. And I think just a general startup issue thing was just finding our market. I did say at first we were targeting data scientists, but I mean, V3 doesn't necessarily have that target. Of course, they can still use the product, but I think just in general, the target customer, the net level of technicality that we're aiming at, I think it's shifted a lot, and trying to maintain features and add new ones as priorities shift, as goals shift, business wise, LLM wise. I think it maybe sometimes it felt like, man, I worked on this feature, but then this space is moving so fast that all of a sudden I feel like that even one day of work might have not been super efficient if I had just had like a better, bigger picture what to work towards, right? So
Yeah.
I think those are my top three biggest things.
So you said the at the first when you joined our team, you were in America, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is kind of a really fundamental question. Like, how did you feel to join the Japanese company, like startup, like all of a sudden?
Well, to be honest, and you can even tell by this meeting right now, the level, I mean, primarily I was worried about language barrier. I have been studying Japanese in my own time, but I mean, I had a chat with Shoya, and I mean, clearly you guys can both speak English fine. It's no worries at all. I don't have to hold back anything, even saying jokes or whatever. It's no
Yeah,
problem. So for me, it was really just evaluating it like a startup, like any other. Like the Japan part wasn't necessarily part of the equation at that point once we started talking. And of course, I think, joining early, some might call it scary. Maybe I can call it exciting, chance to try to really make something new. So I think working at Amazon, I was kind of burned out by like, man, I want to do this one little thing and I got to set up a whole, million
yeah.
meetings to change anything. I might even need a business trip to Colorado for no reason just to get one thing done. Like, why do I need to fly out there, right? So I think working smaller team
Yeah.
obviously had its challenges, but I think things were fast. I had impact. If I want something done, a customer asks about something, I can answer it that day.
Yeah, right.
So I was really looking forward to trying out that different side of software, which I think got me over that initial fear of like, whoa, new country, small company. But I thought it seemed legit and I believed in the vision. So
That's great. I mean, probably the listener of this podcast may interested in how actually like how the working environment in Amazon in your states probably, but we're gonna talk about that topic maybe in the future. Right. Maybe we're gonna move to the V3. Like, and before we start to talk about V3, we really have to talk about why we decide to terminate, not terminating like everything, but like we shifted to the next version. What was the biggest reason for that?
right. I think the biggest reason was the flow generation beyond code generation. I think that really kicked us off. Like I said, the initial V2 when it came out, we were thinking of like designs and LLMs. Frankly, back then, I wasn't trusting them to do anything more than like give me like a couple functions of code at a time. Like keep it below 100 lines or else I'm not going to
Yeah.
be able to trust you, right? And as that was kind of proven to be, well, not necessarily wrong, but things just got better. So if you see on V3 our manifest, right? I think we really wanted to pivot to a solution where that is able to generate the flow. And
Yeah.
it's not really, we don't want to make it like, add one block at a time or something. We want to just make it like be able to see the whole picture, make good edits, right? So that's why we wanted to shift to YAML. And along with that, I think we wanted to get rid of some of the bloat in the code base from us shifting priorities all over the place and just get like a nice clean slate, new directed vision, and a really key feature again, which was
Mm.
natural language workflow instruction from scratch, not just from a specific tool or step.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like evolution of vibe coding really fast, and we kind of really wanted to AI to make whole flow, and at this point, this design does not allow us to create whole flow, so we have to shift it. Right. And I still remember like when I was in San Francisco with Shoya, I actually coded by myself for this little design here, probably. I remember I actually wrote it without AI. And after that, like I don't know, after 3 months, we suddenly start to write all the code, not all the code I know, but like most of the code with AI right now. Yeah. Then we can move to the V3, probably. You can actually click here to go to the V3. All right. Very sick LP.
We're gonna update this thing pretty soon, though.
I mean, Shoya is so into making the LP. So
That's the
so
where people land at first.
so what's the basic concept of V3, Shoya?
Yeah, so basic concept of V3 is it's vibe coding.
Yeah.
So I guess like the idea of vibe coding came out, let's see, last year probably when we started like building this type of stuff. Everyone, so initially like Cursor, like, they came out and like it went viral and people like started to use like Cursor. And then like, Cloud Code came out and people started to use like Cloud Code. So it's not like a drag and drop tool, but it's like more like a vibe coding tool. But it's not like Cloud Code. Okay. So we have like a specific like restrictions that we pose on this product, which is like what like just integrating like a bunch of tools, AI tools and like existing, SaaS applications, and then like, make it secure and like you can ship as API. So those kind of restrictions like we put on this product. And as a result, like we have like vibe coding tool, but you can still like drag and drop and user can interact with like, graph representations and node and edges and so on. So I guess I'll say it's like for semi-technical people who can actually understand the concept of like programming. Like for example, like for loop or like while loop, true or false, branching. But if you at least know that concept, you can like vibe code with this tool. I think that's like a biggest point of this tool.
Thank you. Like, what can you create with this tool?
So it actually depends on the integrations that you use.
Oh,
But for example, like the thing that you're creating right now is you're trying to draft the email using LLM,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Can you accept changes?
No,
Should we cut this real quick? You
Go ahead.
can't paste partial manifest. Maybe we should remove that copy, but yeah.
Okay, I guess like we have some improvements that we need to work on.
I just pushed the back to previous version. Like I've never seen that button before, so I just click it. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, what can you create? That's the biggest question.
What can you create?
This tool.
Okay, so basically targeting like small workflows. So like think about like your daily like,
Yeah.
like work. For example, like checking email, checking contract, posting something on like Slack or posting something on like X, like those kind of like small workflows.
Yeah.
It used to be very hard and like not very cost effective to build that kind of workflow because you need to learn how to use Zapier, like or NAN, or maybe like coding, right? But the amount of time that you need to put on that automation has to balance the outcome of the automation. But the thing is like you need to put a lot of effort on implementation,
Sure
and
that.
it's kind of there is like a steep learning curve. So people often like, give up like making those kind of like automations. But with our like natural language to like code or like vibe coding like solution, people can like significantly decrease the effort on building these kind of workflows. So I guess like small workflows that you can like build instantly, and that's like, our use case.
That's right. And we have to also mention we actually can create some kind of AI agent and also bots. That's what we are trying to.
Right. Are we gonna talk about Jinba app?
Maybe next time then.
Okay, maybe next time.
Maybe next time. All right. How actually, Brian, this question gonna be for you. What's the ambition of current V3? Like how it's gonna be improved in coming like 3 months? What do you think?
Right. Well, something that we're always working on is Copilot, making it more accurate, giving it better capabilities. We want to let it start, searching the internet, searching through files you upload if you want to reference something, right? Adding different ways to add context, more advanced edits. So I think that's combined with as MCP evolves, I think that's like a really shoe-in way to integrate Jinba with other, especially AI workflows, right? Whether it be quickly creating, maybe you have some random service that you're relying on. Maybe you need some emails checked, Slack channels, whatever integration you need. I think it would be awesome for you to quickly set up a ton of whether it be simple or complex workflows, connect them with MCP. Let's say you're a developer and you really need your cursor, you need your windsurf to be accessing the internet for whatever reason, specifically in, a certain way. Maybe you're under a company VPN, so you have those restrictions. We really want it to make it so with these flows, you can either one, just automate your work, schedule something, call it a day. Two, if you want to add MC tools, enhance your AI, give it specific ability to get information, then we also think that will be really useful for that productivity in just multiple ways. Whether you're a developer or using someone else's flow, we really want to see that kind of thing happen.
Yeah, thanks. I think today we go through all the V1 from V3, right? And do you have any conclusion comment? Sure.
Well, yeah, I guess my conclusion is we need to at this like age, like at this like era, like things evolve very fast. So like we need to like keep building and keep inventing new things. Like we need to ship like on daily basis. And that's like only like strengths of the startup. And that's a thing what we are like super focusing on. So, well, I guess like the idea of this like podcast is partially for hiring, I guess.
Yes, that's
Is that
right.
true? So, I mean, if you're like interested in like these kind of like, rapidly growing like industry or rapidly growing, you want to catch up with this and you want to like build something very fast, you want to catch up to the latest technologies, yeah, please reach out to us. We're like, break things pretty fast, like fix things fast, like ship things pretty fast. That's what we're doing. And I think like we're all excited about like, applying those technologies to, existing companies. And that's the value like we're providing, I guess.
Alright, thanks, Brian. 最後にカルノーからのお知らせで、今、松森からお話しさせていただいた通り、カルノーではエンジニアの採用と、あとは営業の採用もね、営業マーケティングの採用もしてますので、ぜひ我々にリーチしていただければと思います。また、私と松森でほのぼのと YouTube ライブなどをほのぼのやってますので、そちらも一緒に見ていただけるとありがたいです。で、最後にぜひJinbaを使っていただいて、ぜひ感想を聞かせていただけると我々も非常にやる気が出るのでよろしくお願いします。ちなみにここの右ボタンを押すと、これ秘密の機能なんですけど、ブライアンに会いに行くことができます。
これデフォルトブライアンなのこれ。
デフォルトがブライアン。
これデフォルトブライアンなの。
僕がたくさん答えてるときは僕も出てきますね。
あ、そうなんだ。これ一番答えてるやつが上に出るの。
一番答えてくるやつが出てて、時たま僕も出てますね。昔は翔也も出てましたけど、最近ちょっと頑張りが足りない可能性が。
頑張りが足りないかもしれない。
じゃあ、本日のポッドキャスト以上です。ありがとうございました。また聞いてください。
ありがとうございました。
Real quick.